and you're not. Are you here?
Hey guys.
Well, I'm here.
How's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit. This is the first time we've recorded in any sort of location in a while. I mean, we did the studio before sort of lockdown. That's kind of the last time I used the...
We did a couple at the parade, didn't we, I think? Just the final ones.
Just before. And today we're in Myddle. We're in at Shropshire Floats. Well, I've had one of the most amazing experiences I've had in a while. So our guests, we're guests, and you're guests on the show. We're guests in your business.
We're all guests.
Would you like to introduce yourselves, guys?
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, I'm Susie.
Yeah, and we are at Shropshire Floats. And this is something I have never experienced, the flotation tank. I've heard about it before. I'm a big fan of Joe Rogan's podcast. He talks about it all the time. He's got his own tank, and he's like, "Oh yeah, man, you want to try the tank out before we go?" So to try that was something I've been trying to do for a while. What an experience! You did this quite a bit, didn't you, Jules? You've done this a few times.
Yeah, I think I signed up with you guys not long after you opened, if I recall rightly. Yeah. So and that's
A year ago,
give it taken some lockdowns in between.
Yeah.
But over a year. So, I used to come monthly when we could. And then more recently, it came a couple of extra times for the experience in the sunroom, which obviously was a new experience, which the guys will obviously tell us about.
You were a model for that, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that, actually. Yeah, there was me and I can't remember the guy's name. Me and another guy.
Stuart.
In fact, we have a collection and a link to him because he is the husband of the lady that we interviewed from Shropshire Nannies.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, he was worried about it, wasn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Festival's been cancelled.
Yeah.
That experience was fantastic. So first of all, before we get into this properly, I want to say that we're doing this to help you guys because you've got a terrible time, like a lot of businesses. I say a lot of businesses through lockdown, but you guys have had no support at all, really, have you?
No.
The landlord has helped us.
Other than that, which has
but
been
the
amazing.
the government support for ourselves has been non-existent.
Which is awful. What was that like for you guys? Because you guys, how long had you been open before all this happened?
A record 8 weeks.
And 8 weeks.
8 weeks. Yes. It's a fantastic way to start a new business. Closed for.
Practice the opening 3 times. Yes.
Yes, fourth one now next month.
Yes, woohoo!
That's insane. That is absolutely insane because you'd think that during all this that new businesses would get the help, right?
Yeah. But no, it's been existing large companies that have had all the help, not small individual people that are just setting out.
And particularly this particular type of experience is about health, well-being, and you guys couldn't get more clinically sterile if you tried.
No,
here.
we pretty much hit all the tick all the boxes for COVID safety that we can here, and most of our clients have been teachers, NHS workers, people that are totally stressed out that really needed to be able to come and do something like this, and unfortunately we weren't allowed to open because we were classed as close contact.
So you were mixed in with that spa type audience. Even though you're not actually leaning over somebody and waxing them or cutting their hair, you have no contact with the people, do you, at all?
No.
So you are actually well outside that close contact category.
Yes.
We did try, and to be fair, the Shropshire Council were very good at being able to tell us the reasoning. But unfortunately, it's down to somebody making that key decision.
Yeah, of course.
And nobody would put the neck on the line to give us the go ahead. So we had to close.
Yeah.
But we're about to reopen again. Woo!
Yeah, we got the news from April. Is it April 12th or?
It is 12th.
April 12th, yes, it is.
Wow, God,
Yep.
Where do I got that?
Yeah. It's enough time to think.
It's only 3 weeks away, isn't it?
No, 4.
Oh, is it?
No,
Sorry.
And 3 days.
Okay.
At the Biscuit, we've been making a very conscious effort to sort of try and help local businesses, and we've been doing the open studio sessions. We've been doing the virtual market showcase as well. So it's been really nice to actually come to a location today to do this. And I've got to say, I don't understand why this place was closed in the first place, because it is medical. I mean, it's definitely medical. I mean, when I was in that tank, not only was Okay, so my experience was fantastic, but I'll get into that in a second. But like my muscles were clicking, and I felt things clunking that I haven't clunked in years. It's one of those experiences that you've got to go. If you suffer from arthritis or problems with your joints and things, you're going to feel the benefits of that, right?
Most definitely, yes.
Is that
There's
like
the weightlessness?
Is that where a lot of your clientele comes from then?
Oh, there is no specific clients. We tried. Ideally, when you set a business up and you go through a marketing plan, you identify four people that you feel would be a target market, target audience, target person. So you'd have Teresa walking down the road, and Teresa would be NHS. She'd be in her 40s. She'd have had an operation or something prior to that. So that would be one person. Then you'd have Uncle Tom, and Uncle Tom now is a retired farmer with heavy arthritis. And then you'd have somebody else and somebody else. There is nothing, no rhyme, no reason to our guests here at all. We have 13-year-olds, we have 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds.
Yeah, and real mixture, 50-50 of both male and female, coming for all sorts of different reasons. So from medical based, from mental health based, from just wanting to pamper, totally across the board.
Amazing that you can reach so many people, and I can see benefits for anything really here. Whether you are an artist, whether you've got arthritis, whether you suffer from problems of anxiety, or I mean, you've got a bad shoulder, haven't you? It's your shoulder.
Yeah, I mean that was my initial reason for coming. Well, I came to your open day actually. So when you had your open day, and obviously picked up the leaflets and read a bit more about it, and obviously Kevin and Susie at the time were telling everybody about the benefits of it. So for me, it was right. This is going to be good for my shoulder because I can sort of like move my shoulder in the water, fully supported, a lot more than I could. And yeah, definitely over a period of time, it was getting looser and looser and looser. 13 floats, Kev's just reminded me I've done so far. So yeah, is that including the one I've just done?
Yeah.
So up to 12 floats, looseness. Obviously, we've just experienced it today as part of this podcast experience, but I definitely noticed the difference. My shoulder was stiff again and creaky. So I will attest to, if you've got joint problems, it definitely helps. And if you don't come and you miss the gap, you feel the experience, definitely.
And a lot of people will ask us how often should they come, and that is again also down to the experience and what people need. So it can be that it's quite often good to weight it, that you come quite regularly to start off with, and then you can leave a gap of a month or 2 months depending on what you need. So again, it can work around the individual completely.
It's that front loading. What we best way to say it. So it's just a Shropshire period of 3 floats in a month.
Yeah.
And then you can back off.
Yeah.
Depending on budget, depending on time, depending on experience and benefit. And it's something then that can just tie in with the needs of your body.
I mean, I've got to say as well, to me back up, I've got, over the recent sort of year or so, put a bit of weight on. A few people have, over lockdown, and I've got a bit more body image sort of problems. And I've got to say, I was a bit nervous about today because I was kind of like, I'm going to take my shirt off, and what's going to happen? But it's very private, isn't it? You go in and you sort of lock the door behind you. You've got the shower to yourself, you've got the egg, as I'm calling it, the tank to yourself. It's very private. It's your own private, personal experience. So if you're listening to this now and you're thinking, oh no, it's not for me, I'm not, you're kind of similar to me at the moment. We're kind of like, oh no, man, I'm a man with boobs, I can't do that. That's how I think about myself. There are no issues there.
No, we deliberately did that as well. We were conscious about definitely not having any mirrors in the rooms themselves, so that if anybody did feel uncomfortable about it, there wasn't anything that they would catch an eye if they saw themselves, that you do feel like you're in your own bathroom, you are private, you can be in the pod and out and in the shower without having that problem. And then also we do have a sort of a vanity area where you put your deodorant and makeup on afterwards, so we can keep the room sterile and there's no extra smells in there. And that is at a certain height, so you only see your face, and you've got bright lights. So we're hoping that you have a really good experience of when you leave as well, that you feel really good about yourself. So all of that has been thought of when we tried to put the space together.
Yeah,
it's truly personally, I haven't felt anything like that before, honestly.
Well, how do you feel now, Al? Because obviously you said about how you felt before you came here, you was a bit anxious. Obviously you've been in there now. How do you now feel right at this moment?
I feel the correct words I can probably use is probably inspired. I feel inspired and sort of hyperactive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
My skin feels a bit lighter. What I was trying to do I said to Kev before we went in, what I'm looking for is like the biscuit's just become a proper, fully working business now. We've got sponsors waiting. They want to give us money, and we couldn't do that until we had our bank stuff finalised. That happened yesterday. So all these ideas are running through our heads now. What are we going to do? What's the model here? We just stepped away from the parade because we weren't going to use it anymore because of what's going on. We've been doing everything over Zoom, and also because that unit had been taken. And I was kind of like, maybe we could make use of some sort of space somewhere. I would still think like there's an opportunity there. And what I wanted to do was sort of think about what we're going to do. And I was trying to think about it, and I did for a bit, thinking, oh yeah, I'd love a nice Brooklyn sort of loft sort of space, and I was like, yeah, we could have like a conference style sort of studio on one side, and on the other side we can have like the green room with like a news desk type thing, and we have a little cafe, seats, and then it sort of started drifting away. What I really wanted to think about was sort of dissipating, and I was in Pendine. It's really weird. I was listening to my breathing, my breathing out sounded like waves, and there was this hill that we climbed up in Pendine with Timmy when he was little, and we just sat and watched the sea. And I was there. It was weird. It was really weird, right? And so I was starfishing out because this tank, guys, is huge. It doesn't matter how long is this thing? Because like I imagine if you're 6'2", you're still gonna not
7'4", you're not going to hit the sides.
Yeah, no. And it's amazing. You can literally starfish out while you're floating. And I was conscious of like when my toe would sort of hit the side, and I kind of gently push off because I wanted to just float. And then I got to a point where I was kind of, hold on, Alex, like you're weightless right now. Let's have some fun with this, right? So I gently push off with my left toe, say, right, waiting to kind of hit the side in any sort of side, and you'd be surprised because first of all you sort of float to wherever side you're going to go to forever,
and you're in pitch black. Remember?
And you're in pitch black. You don't know where you're going. You feel like you're spinning around slowly. And when your finger, your toe, or something touches the side, it's almost very tantric. That's the best way to describe it. I know it's kind of a raunchy way to look at things, but your finger takes millions of seconds to touch that side.
Yeah, that's really descriptive.
Yeah, and when the bubbles, they sometimes get the odd bubbles that come up. Again, they sort of take forever to sort of roll around my huge ass. I guess, but, it just takes forever, and that's how I felt. And towards the end, I was really concentrating sort of on my breathing while I was doing that. I was moving from side to side, and I started thinking of my friend Nicole Bogda, and she messaged me this morning sort of like how she's doing. She's in a part of America when she gets snowed in, she gets properly snowed in. But because I was thinking of her, I was thinking of myself in a cabin, and I could hear the wind sort of blowing around the cabin. And as I was thinking about that, the lights and the sort of wave sound sort of kicked in, but the waves sort of sounded like wind. It didn't sound like waves at first. And then the lights slowly started brightening. That was so weird how that all sort of matched up. And you're right as well, because it's very timeless in there.
Yes. No concept of time whatsoever.
45 minutes went by very quickly. It probably felt about 15 minutes, so that sort of time.
It goes on unbelievably quick, and that's why you think you fall asleep. And I don't actually. You maybe don't fall asleep.
People do. I have woken myself up snoring, which is not good in that space because it echoes. But yes, people do fall asleep. You have the people that they're just so mellow that there is no time reference. But then you do have people that fall asleep as well. But because there is so much salt in there, you will not sink, and that's the best thing about it. You are just floating. Yeah. And you are safe in there. And if you did sort of vaguely slightly roll over to one side, the salt would soon wake you up.
Oh yes, so. I've experienced salt in the eye.
Tell us what it tastes like.
It's salt in the eye.
It's not so much I experienced it. I must have got an itch and just gone like that, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh no. But luckily you've got the little
water.
saline bottle, haven't you? That you can actually, even though it's pitch black, you can feel, you know where it is when you go in, so you can feel it and grab it and then just squirt as much in your eye as possible, and literally it went straight away. So
it's not as bad as getting shampoo in your eye or
No.
anything like that. It's just a bit of a shock for a second.
Yeah.
And then
That's where we disagree
wash
with
it
that.
out. I obviously get more shampoo in my eye.
I didn't have any experiences with that. I feel like I wanted to go in there and sort of experience it properly. So, Kev, you were telling me, I think you explained it beautifully about why you sort of you challenged me to try and plank when the water's sort of emptying from the thing. Why is that? Why did you ask me to do that?
I think you're floating for 45 minutes, an hour and a half, whatever time your session is booked for, and you rarely get an experience where you are weightless. There's no way to replicate that except through
In
the
space.
in space or the planes, the airplanes, those vomit comet jobs.
Yeah.
So have an opportunity to realise just what we're up against every single day.
Our gravity.
And gravity is a beast of a thing. And it's you watch people and you hear people struggling getting out of seats, getting out of bed in the morning. That's it. And then when you do realise that gravity is sitting on you almost like an elephant. That you think, do you know what? There's a good reason why we're struggling to get up in the mornings and move around, and
So as the water goes out, you are then brought back down to the bottom of the tank, and then you feel that the weight coming back again. And also because you've got so much salt in the water, quite often you'll have crystallised areas on your body where that salt sits, and it feels like those little bits of crystallised are holding you down to the bottom of the tank, which is very surreal.
It is I felt that because it was sort of like gathered in the middle of my chest, and I felt it. I was like, oh, this is just
so heavy.
It's so surreal. It really is. I mean, I really want my wife to try it because I think she'll really enjoy it. But I've got to ask the question: why this? Why flotation tanks in the middle of Shropshire?
In the middle of Myddle.
Yes, yeah. We thought you'd ask this question, so Susie's come up with it.
Because we can.
We're mad.
Yeah. We both worked in America for a while, and finding out about flotation tanks, it's massive in America. There's loads all over the place, and lots of people use it there. And there's a few in this country. I was aware of one in the Malvern Hills many years ago. I sort of didn't really register it, but when we were looking for opening a business, I also worked with young people and young adults with mental health issues, and been very involved in mindfulness. And we were looking at what can we do that supports my passion, brings in something that we've done before, and know that we can help people, because it's a real fast track way of learning to meditate. And we wanted to do something that just made people feel better, and helped people, but without being pushy. Both sort of been to spas and things like that, where you feel like you're on a conveyor belt of money.
Yeah.
Go and do this, have this experience, feel that, and then give me loads of money at the end of it.
Yeah.
And this is Myddle is a beautiful place. It's an amazing part of Shropshire.
By the way, the listeners that are listening from abroad, Myddle is a little town, little hamlet, I guess, in Shropshire. Myddle. Yeah, that's what we actually talk about.
Yes. Yeah, like when we first saw it, we were like, is it Myddle or is it Myddle? Who do we have to ask? And so we needed somewhere that was quiet as well, and it has the place itself has a serene feel to it. The building feels calm, and then you spend time pampering and looking after your physical and mental health while you're in here, and that's what we want to do.
And as well as being quiet, you're in actually a prominent
Is that my
location.
call?
Hello.
Yes. Sorry, it was very quiet.
You're in a very prominent location because you are literally in the middle of Myddle.
Yes.
Right on a mini roundabout, surrounded obviously by the village. So you're in a very prominent position, and this is a through route that people use to get to Bass Church.
Yes.
And other parts of like northeast, northwest Shropshire. So, you are ideally suited. You've got big open windows so people can see.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about being able to come here and this is a destination, and it can take an hour to get from one side of Shrewsbury to the other. And we are half an hour from from the middle of Telford, with, you know, really nice centralised position for the whole of Shropshire really. And the sat nav brings you to this location, which was a big tick that we had when we were looking for a place to come to, and that we have parking as well, so you're not stressing to get here on time for your session, that you know that you've got a safe parking spot and you come straight in.
But people have used the excuse they were behind the tractor. That's what it was.
which does happen often out this way. You do actually get stuck.
You're going,
behind
yeah,
tractors,
okay,
like,
I'll give you that one.
Yeah. So what made you guys? Because obviously, you know, you'd started up this bit, and then it wasn't so long ago that you decided to introduce the sunroom, so another feature of the flotation centre.
Yeah, sort of still on the similar lines really, that again looking at mental and physical health, that in this country, unfortunately, it's a beautiful country, but we don't have that much strong sun. And because of that, a lot of people are vitamin D deficient.
Yeah.
And we were looking at what else could we have that would add to people's experience of floating and their well-being. And we sort of just looked at it and thought about it. And I suffer from SAD, which is seasonal affective disorder, which is where you get, it's sort of a depression that you have during winter months because you just don't get enough sunlight and don't get enough vitamin D. And it is quite debilitating. You just literally feel like you want to curl up in a ball and wait till spring to happen. And I know that speaking to lots of other people, that they also have suffered from it, or also feel that they haven't had enough sunshine. And the fact that we have been able to go abroad again this summer has added to that. So we thought, why not bring a bit of sunshine again to Myddle? And I think Kevin's secret desire also is that he wants to have 4 seasons within our
The spare rooms we have upstairs.
within our space that we have at Myddle. So we have the beach, which is your pod.
Yeah.
We have the sunroom, which is your seaside. He's looked at a snow room.
They're so cool. They're so cool.
Do they exist?
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, they exist.
Wow.
Just
Snowball fight.
And then what we really, really want is one of
Soul
those
caves.
wind things, so you can do the parachute.
Oh.
that would be cool.
I don't think that would fit in a room.
Yeah.
We'd have to do that outside somewhere. But we were looking at what could we do for 4 seasons to work your way round.
That's a magical idea.
It is great. I think
That is
that's
magical.
because where else does something like that? It's very unique, very, very unique. And imagine in the height of summer when it's really too hot. You know, we always complain that it's not hot enough. Then when it's hot, it's like. But coming here and just being like, oh yeah, let's just.
Where do I want to go? What season do I want to be in
And that's probably
today?
the thing, isn't it? The frustrating thing, I'd imagine, for you guys with the sunroom and, you know, the timing again of opening that.
Yes.
Winter would have been perfect.
Yes.
All through the months we've been locked down,
Yes.
would have been ideal for people to use that. But as you say, we are in the UK. Chances of having a lot of sun, and you know, despite obviously being optimistic, you know, what the future holds for June and opening up, I still think a lot of people are going to do staycations. I think people are going to do more in the UK this year than abroad.
Yeah.
So, you know, they might not get the sun they need. So
Especially
they
if they-
come here for it.
Especially if they get away with if they do this plan of staggering summer holidays.
Yeah.
That might help a lot of people, because then there's no premium prices on vacations or your holidays.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's quite interesting that you went with beach and then you went for like the seasonal look at things rather than water. You know, you could have had hot tubs, or you could have had hydrotherapy or something like that. You know, it's quite
You
interesting.
get them at a spa though, can't you?
Yeah,
That's probably.
I don't know.
We've
got 3 empty rooms. We'll find something to fill
yes,
them with.
3 years ago now, we helped out a friend whose husband was doing a master's degree, and part of that was social psychology, and part of it he needed some test subjects to mentor. And sure, we thought we'd give it a go, and we approached him and said, we'll sign us up, but we wanted to do it as a couple. And it wasn't couples therapy.
Which he was terrified that he thought it was. Which was quite funny. He was like, I don't want to do that. It's like, no, we know we hate each other. It's all fine.
Yeah. Can you imagine sitting in a room and somebody just looking at you going, really? The two of you still together? And it was to bring an idea of what we wanted to do with careers, with our lives, and where we wanted to be. And we have a love of water. You know, and it's just been part of our life for every part of it, and to incorporate a business into it with water is kind of special and pretty cool. And it's it's a fantastic business that will hopefully work.
What's the feedback been like since you for those 8 weeks opened your doors?
Well, we had a couple more weeks besides that. We've been blessed with fantastic reviews, with fantastic comments, and customer loyalty. We managed to open
13 times.
That's just one. We're up to about 800 clients at the moment.
Nice,
which is fantastic, and it's just a question of getting them back now. Hopefully they won't all come at the same time, so we can stagger that out slightly. But because we were able to open just the back end of November, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When we were open, so we managed to get the Christmas voucher and Christmas gift market, but it gave people a chance to share their experience with their friends by giving them these opportunities to come here. So once we open, we've written to everybody and social media and what have you as well to say, listen guys, the second we're open, we'd love to have you back, and they come. And part of the sunroom as well, the great thing about it is it's you, Julie, you come as a single person to this. You have brought a friend here before.
Yeah.
But what it does is it changes the dynamics of the business from a single visit and a single visitor to two people coming with the sunroom afterwards. Yeah. And then we try and work it well as well with the local pub, the Red Lion, and it's just to tie in. So it's like, right, what are you doing? Okay, you're coming for lunchtime, right? Okay, we need to get your timings right for the float and the sunroom.
Yeah.
And then it's just brilliant.
And that's exactly what I did with my friend when I brought her in that last sort of bit where we was open. That's exactly what we did. We went to the Red Lion. We had a light lunch.
Yeah, too.
We had a light lunch. Then we came here. We each did, I think, the sunroom first.
Yeah, we stopped that.
And then we went to the pod, didn't we?
Yeah, people were too relaxed when they came down from the sunroom.
Yeah, we couldn't get them out of the sunroom, so it's pod first and then up to the sunroom to finish and chill out. But what's nice is because you separately go into the pods if you're bringing somebody with you, and then you're able to go and chat and talk about your experience upstairs in the sunroom while you're getting your vitamin D.
Yeah, because from what I've been hearing, reading, hearing my friends, because I've been talking about this when we're doing this, everybody's experience is something different in the pods, right? So it is a good talking point. Where did you find the kit or the big lights that you've got in there for the sunroom? Where did they come from? Did you know about these, or did you have to research them?
Don't ask him things like that. Yeah. Kevin spends a lot of time on the internet. And he buys random things.
Bought a couple of pods. Darling, look what I bought. I bought a American school bus a couple of years ago. Yes, imagine coming home with that one. What we did was there are different pods out there. And we had to make sure that the one that we picked was going to work for us.
Not the pod.
Oh, sunroom.
The sunroom.
Asking about the lights.
That's fine. So,
So the lights in the room. I was getting to that.
The lights in the sunroom, not the pod room.
Okay,
we can go there. We can
get both lights.
We can go from pods to lights. So talk about
back again.
Right. Okay. We'll go to lights.
Sorry, listeners.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just trying to get away from this. It's all good.
A couple of years ago in Shrewsbury, there was a beach business.
I remember it.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when we were looking for locations for where we wanted our flotation business to be, we got a whole pile of literature from the different estate agents as to what locations properties might be best for us. And one of them was this unit. So looking into it and seeing what it had been, then able to find on Facebook and on the internet what that business had been. And the light system. So we looked into the light system, and we've got the system that they had.
Nice.
So they've created a market, and we're going to hopefully capitalise on that as well.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. Now the pods.
Now the pods.
The pods. There's a huge difference of all the different pod manufacturers, but there's ones that look like scallops. And when you just type in flotation tanks, the market leader will come up, and they look like a long,
like a sunbed. So.
Like a sunbed, yes. Yeah,
okay.
kind of.
Or a shell. Clam is one. I think a clam shell is. I think what you're trying to get at. Yeah. So it's sort of it hinges at the backhand sides.
So you got like round ones, you got sarcophagus shaped ones, you got.
There's tent ones as well.
Yeah,
and
there's
open
all
rooms.
sorts. There's actual sort of like cubes that are like massive cubes that you have a door halfway up that you get into.
Wow.
The float rooms as opposed to float tanks.
Yeah, there's big ones that you can have multiple people in.
So me pushing off the side,
so
wait, I'll be there for like 45 minutes. The whole thing. That's your time done.
That's a lot of water.
What's different about ours is that it's the only one that the water is taken out of the pod itself after each use. It gets filtered and goes through UV
whole
lights,
cleaning
loads
process.
and loads of cleaning processes before it comes back in again. So,
I think that's really important that people know that, because there will be some people that will be, quite concerned about getting into something that somebody else has just been lying in for 45 minutes. It's a bit like people when they're at the swimming pool or when they go to in a hot tub. And let's face it, lots of people don't clean their hot tubs like they're supposed to. So, but that's what I said about your whole clinical hygiene process here is top
we are
notch.
a bit fanatical about making sure that everything is scrubbed through, and the salts itself, the salts pretty much kill everything off, and we have
hydrogen
peroxide in there,
UV lights
that clean it and everything, so it all kills off.
And the surface of the pods themselves have been coated with substance that helps keep the light down as well. So it is a fantastic system, but also it retracts, and the lid retracts over the top. Yeah. So you can stand and step straight into it as opposed to crouching down, leaning down, and so the cleanliness, the cleanliness of the machine,
ease of access,
and it's made in Britain, it's made in England, it's down the road.
Ah, nice. Yeah, I like that.
So
and talking about ease of access,
the sling.
You've got
another thing.
Another thing for which I think is brilliant, because again, it's people with mobility issues that would probably extremely highly benefit from this.
Yeah.
But those mobility issues would have impeded them trying to get in and out of the pod. So you've got a solution for that, haven't you?
Yeah.
We have. We had to get the joist strengthened above it. There was a whole pile of work that had to be done. But the engineer that came down to do it, he is 6'2" or 7'2", right?
Got a picture of him next to
they
him.
have to be weight tested. So these machines, the hoist on the ceiling has to be weight tested, and he just sat in it.
Right.
So it was like, well, are you not supposed to do this scientifically? And he says, well, I'll get the weights out, but the weights are 110 kilos and I'm 130, so so that's what he did.
Yeah.
So people that have arthritis, or those that can't get themselves in and out of a bath, is what we're looking at. That we can, for joint support, that we have a hoist that they can use with assistance. They'd have to bring them somebody to carer or supporter to help them get in and out of the pod, but then they now have access because of the fact that the pod has an open lid that can help to have the winch in and out.
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea.
All I can say is about this experience that I've had today is if you're looking for that big idea, if you're I don't know, you're a writer, or you're going for a job interview, or those situations where you're trying to find the right way to approach something, this is perfect. I mean, not only is it great for your joints and your muscles, and but for your mind, I think it's. I was actually quite. I wouldn't say the word scared. I was kind of like nervous about like me being trapped up inside my own head, like, because I've tried writing. I've written a chapter of a book I really like to write, but that was a scary place to be, stuck inside my head, coming out with words and trying to talk about how the light dances across the menacing look on the man's face, all these sort of things that you do. But that was just serene. It was really nice, very gentle as well, because what happens is the lights sort of dim, very very slowly, set you off into a sleep, into the dark. And I actually closed my eyes and I didn't even realise it was in darkness. When it was very dim red, I was kind of like, okay, let's get into the stove. I looked, and then I opened them again. It was pitch black. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, my eyes are open, my eyes are shut.
It is pitch black. You cannot see anything. It's like as dark as it can be. So yeah, it was a very magical. So thank you very much for inviting us to try this today, because
Thank
you have opened my eyes. Because I've always thought, what's Joe Rogan going on about his blooming tanks again?
Well, I kept pestering you guys, didn't I, as well? Yeah. Get yourself off down to Shropshire Floats.
Yes, many times.
We'd organised to do this, and then lockdown happened again.
Yeah.
First of all, we did it, and then communications broke down, which happens all the time with us. Don't worry about it. If that's happened with us before, don't worry. It's not just you. And then we did it again, and lockdown happened. So I'm glad we finally got to do this. what's the plan for the future? What would you like to, I mean, you got to be realistic. You talk about your season room and things like this, but say someone's
realistic.
say someone's like, here is an unlimited amount of money. Do what you want with this. What would you like to do with this? What's the goal?
With this business?
With this in general, yeah. What would you like? Would you like to franchise? Would you like to add another floor in the building? Is there somewhere that you'd like to go that, with this, that you can't realistically go at the moment?
I think that's too serious a conversation to have.
We're still trying to just open it for the first time, for the fourth time.
Reopen. The reopening.
Reopen. Yeah, we're going to get it right this time, aren't we?
Yeah. I think it's bringing the message to Shropshire. Just
that floating is amazing and that it is for everybody. And you should try it. And people that are worried about, like we've talked about, that it's complete darkness, that if you are a little bit, because it's amazing how many people are scared of the dark. It's really surprising that you can have the lights on if you want to. If you have tinnitus and you've got a buzzing in your ear or something, we can put music on the whole time. That people that are scared about being claustrophobic, that you can have the lid open. So we try and cater for everybody. So don't worry about it. Come and give it a go.
And I've got to say, you briefed me, Kev, before we went in about how to do's and what to do's, and it's very detailed, but at the same time, it's not. If that makes sense, you gave me a detailed discussion on something that was actually quite easy. It's nice. You get the full experience when you get it. That's what I'm trying to say.
But you know what you know what to do, don't you? It's not as if like.
Yeah.
Right, Kevin or Susie's just left the room, and what did they say? I don't want to touch anything because I'm not quite sure now. So,
what do we do when the floodgates open on the 12th of April? To your customers that are going to come back to you, how are you going to manage? Because I imagine, okay, so let's talk about haircuts. Barbers are going to have queues around the corner because everyone's want to go get the haircut at the same time. Same as this, people are going to want to jump straight into this. How are you going to manage that?
And the system does that for us. So we'll just have to extend the availability, the times.
Yeah,
So
your booking system is so easy.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
You go online.
Yeah.
Click,
And
you're done.
click, and you're done.
If the time isn't there, you won't be able to book an appointment. If the time is there, it is.
Yeah.
What do you go on to, Kevin?
What?
Shropshire.
ShropshireFloats.me.
Oh, right.
But no, the system is brilliant because it operates over 5 days. And as you said, if push comes to shove and we're full all the time, then we can easily extend the days that we're working. And if that still isn't enough, then we've got 2 spare days that we have for ourselves that we can open. Then what we can also do is tighten up the how people can book, so we won't have any gaps. Now, COVID reduced our availability by 30%, so we had to
got time for cleaning.
leave far longer times between guests and stuff. So you could go back to, although the pods were clean, the rooms, the air itself, and all the rest of time to settle, and just make it COVID safe. Sure, to bring our own parents in, to bring anybody in, people with shielding and stuff to feel safe. So with hopefully that gone now in a couple of months' time, we won't need to worry about that. But at the same time, it feels very, very good to give people the unrushed experience. Not you don't want to come out of the pod when you're finished and somebody's sitting there waiting and going, is he finished yet? Is he finished yet? Can I go in?
Yeah.
And I don't want to go back to those days. I'd like to be really busy, but at the same time, I don't want to rush anybody because the whole point of us being here is to
take your time.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense as well, actually, because it's that balance, isn't it? Because you don't want people sort of feeling they've got to sit out in the car park waiting, or that they're sitting here. But then equally, you probably don't want somebody sitting on the sofa for an hour having a coffee, or
I've got to have to talk to them.
Yeah, but you're busy, aren't you? So
at the moment, still with COVID, we have to have people waiting, and we have. Luckily, we've got 2 doors in the place, so we have one door for coming in and one for going out. We have a humidifier upstairs that is disinfectant, that does soft furnishing. So in the sunroom, after every visit, we have that. We put that on and there, so we know that space is disinfected as well. And then down here with all the stuff that we have, then this area is also as COVID safe as we can make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you guys have been fantastic, and I've had a really good time. I feel
You're
like
welcome.
I've really enjoyed it, and people probably listen to this show and rather realize, he's just doing that to be polite. He's only there because he's there and it's awkward. But actually, do you know what? I really have felt the benefits for this. I really have.
Good.
I'm really.
And that's a massive part of what we want to be able to do is is,
Yeah.
make people feel better
Yeah.
as they leave, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
That's it. And I mean, obviously, you've got 800 customers. Your current customer base is 800,
Yeah.
but you obviously want it to be more than that.
Yeah.
Because you've got the capacity, like you say, you can make the capacity work, and not
Yeah.
everyone's going to come every day of the week or every week, so people can spread it out. So, obviously our job will be to get the message out there, and we'll share it as far and as wide as we can.
Brilliant, thank you.
And obviously once it's up, you guys can share it from your site as well, and so people can actually hear a bit more about it if people are still really worried, and they read the literature or they go on the website, but actually hearing and experiencing it,
Yeah.
it will be better for them. So
Yeah, I love this. I think it's great, and I'm really happy that we've been able to come out today and do this, because obviously COVID has been a nightmare for we haven't been able to go out anywhere. And
thank goodness for Zoom though.
Zoom is fantastic.
It's been a lifesaver for us.
But I love people. I love being around people
better.
and experiencing new things, and this has been a great opportunity. I mean, guys listening to this now, we have done this socially distanced. Everything's been done properly, and it's within the 10 miles. We've done a vlog to this as well. I said to this, just don't judge people. I'm trying to help businesses and stuff. So I'm glad that we've been able to do this. So thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to plug anything? Is there anything you'd like to plug? Your website? I know you've already just mentioned your website, social media, anything like that. What would you like
Well, you can find us on Facebook, so Shropshire Floats.
Yeah.
ShropshireFloats.me is the website. But as a final thing, we couldn't have survived without everybody just chipping in, getting the vouchers, believing in what we did, not asking for vouchers to be cancelled and money to be returned. And then lastly, but to our landlord, to Shingler Homes.
It's Shingler.
It is, yeah, wicked.
They've been amazing. We've gone, help us, and they have, which has been absolutely brilliant.
So.
With a new business opening and ploughing all of our money into this, and me leaving safe council job to come and do this, and me going, why did I do that? They've been
and I
amazing.
think that's commendable as well for a business like that, because I mean they are in Myddle, aren't they? They're just on the top at the main road, and they own the pub as well, I understand. So it's quite good that they've got that investment in Myddle and can help businesses like yourselves and the pub and support them through this really difficult time. So are you on Instagram as well?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, No, I'll get you with that. It's taken me ages to get that.
Our daughter does that for us.
It's not easy to. I'm quite proud about our Instagram, to be fair, because we take an audio thing and make it very visual somehow. I just don't know. Lots of selfies of me like in front of microphones. And this has been great. But before we go, guys, I want to tell you guys about our website, which is the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.co.uk, made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. We like to work with other people, and we are now an official CIC. We're a company. With our bank details are through. We're looking for sponsors. I mean, we're going to be holding some sponsorship meetings on Zoom, and we're going to show people what we can do for them, show people our numbers and how we can help. We have 3 different entities that are available to be sponsored. We have the podcast, the virtual market showcase, and the open studio sessions. That's its own independent playlist. So if you do want to get involved with the Shrewsbury Biscuit somehow, and we can talk, you can get in touch with us via the website or our email, which is shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Guys, again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Jules, thanks for introducing us, because this is
pleasure.
great. And we will catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Yay.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.